All right, bro, what are we doing today?
We'll do some back and buys. B&B. B&B.
All right, I'll get started.
Yes, and today we're going to talk about
Last time we had a Christmas episode. This time we're having a...
New Year's episode.
Wow, we're so creative.
It's called being trendy. Trending.
Oh, we got to follow the trends.
Got to follow the trends.
All right, we're going to start with pull-ups, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then you know what we're going to do? Since this is a New Year's episode, we're going to start putting the workouts in the description.
That's a good idea. I can do that because I have it already, right? Okay, so today we're going to talk about just kind of like getting back to the gym and life in January, talking about resolutions, gym and otherwise, and why they tend to fail, actually, a lot of the times. So that's kind of what we're talking about. But we're going to start with some chin-ups.
Just doing rounds of 6, yeah?
Yeah, 6 to 8.
And we got some very nice feedback from people.
Yeah.
Mostly positive.
Mostly positive.
But some of it was saying that we need to not grunt and breathe as loud. That's going to be a challenge, considering the whole premise is we're talking while we're working out.
Oh my God.
You already started breathing.
It felt really hard. Yeah. It's my second workout in like a week.
Buddy's feeling it.
I've been enjoying the break.
So yeah, you talked about the topic premise.
Yes.
But the name, why most New Year's resolutions fail by February, right?
Yes.
And it's super true. Not just in the gym. We're going to talk about everything in general. But yeah, you see it in the gym all the time.
Yeah.
In terms of New Year's resolutioners, you kind of get like that. I'm going to go every single day, like 6-7 days a week. And then you hit burnout. You're not able to stay on track of anything. And then by February, maybe even earlier sometimes, you're just like, I'll go back into my regular routine.
Yeah, like if we're talking, go ahead, about the gym specifically, obviously I've been doing this for like almost 20 years. Commercial gyms, a good half of that. And in like the fitness industry among fitness professionals, it's like an ongoing joke, especially in gyms, that it's like, all right, we have the biggest rush January, early February, and then by March, everyone's gone. So it's like, I think there is like, I remember when I was doing like sales and stuff, a big statistic that we would always talk about is by March, 80% of the people that signed up in January are gone. And then like, I was in a commercial gym, so that was great for us because you don't
could
want,
bring on more members.
You want people to sign up for, like, as bad as this is, a year-long contract while they're hyped in January, and then just hoping that they fall off. Because can you imagine if you get 1,000 new members and everybody shows up all the time? It wouldn't work, right? So that's why the gyms...
That's hilarious. The structure is based on knowing...
It's made because we know people are going to fall
off.
So it's like, we make a lot of money, and then they're like, well, you're locked in for a year, buddy. If you didn't show up for 9 months...
That's wild.
That's your problem.
That's wild. So it's a lot of the decisions of the big box gyms are built around kind of human psychology.
100%.
And nature.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
And a lot of the times, when I used to do like fitness consultations, I'd see the same people every January, like multiple years in a row.
What gym was this
I'd be like, hey, Jim, good to see you for the 4th time.
You're going to try it? Going to give it the old college try?
This is the year, man. This is the year. I'm like, I'll see you next January. Like, legit. So in terms of the gym, yeah, it's like...
If resolutions worked, why do they fail every single year, bro? It's crazy. That's crazy talk.
I think it's a psychology thing, too.
What about like some personal experiences? I've never failed a resolution. Just kidding. Just kidding. We all have. Have. Resolutions are kind of like those, like distant, like chasing the dragon kind of thing. You might not even be able to do it, but it's at least it's something that kind of gets you new energy into the new year. Yeah. And it sucks. Like most of the time, it's the fact that it's changing into the new year that you're like setting these new intentions and like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something new that I haven't done before. But I think more so the mentality of like the fact that it's January should be changed, and you should be able to do this whenever.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a specific start date for a new goal, right?
Yeah. Are we done here? We got
one more. Yeah, I think definitely because it's January, people just like to set that up as the fresh start. Fresh Start. Well, the Febreze brothers. Fresh Start. Fresh Start.
I never heard of that.
You ever heard that joke?
No.
Dude, that's from The Other Guys
Oh.
with Mark Wahlberg.
One I don't know.
Yeah. So, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Well, it kind of coincides with what I was talking about during our holiday one. I want to be more organized.
Yeah. How's that going? Oh, I guess it's not the New Year yet, so you got a couple days. You got a couple days.
I mean, I'm definitely more cognizant of needing to manage my calendar and all that stuff.
Yeah. So one of the reasons I think that people fail New Year's resolutions in the gym and like outside, like maybe your resolution is save more money or, you know,
Ooh,
I don't
this
know.
is gonna be rough for the mic.
No, you'll be good.
Just gotta be careful.
I think they fail is because they're unrealistic. I think people have like an all or nothing approach to their New Year's resolution. It's like, all right, new year, new me. I'm sure you've heard that like a bajillion times.
That's the running joke.
That's
in
the
gym.
joke.
What about, so like more specifically, you mean like, let's keep it in the gym, for example, because that's where we know majority of the scenarios or situations.
Yeah.
But you're talking like someone comes in and they set an unrealistic goal or standard that since they haven't even done it, how are they going to go from 0 to 100?
That's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of times people are just like, I've never done this thing before and I'm going to do 100% of it January 2nd.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So you'd probably be better off by
Small
setting
goals.
a little like baby steps. The smaller the goal, the better.
Yeah.
Right?
And like fitness, I think people, obviously the most common one is, you know, maybe I want to lose more weight. I want to lose 20 pounds in the new year. I think people are just like, they set the goal far away. It's like, I want to lose 30 pounds, but there's no
incremental
There's no
steps.
actionable steps. It's like, I just want to lose 30 pounds. How are you going to do it? I don't know. Let's go to the gym, I guess.
Like
And that's why people fail, right?
That's like such a large goal that people don't realize.
People don't think it's a lot, but it's a lot.
So instead of like going to the gym or setting a New Year's resolution that would be numerical, you would probably be better off in thinking more consistency. You're going to probably have to take that chain off.
Never.
It's probably tickling that mic.
Never. It's part of who I am now.
Well,
we should do some rear delt flies.
Probably going to mess up the mic though, bro.
I think setting up like a New Year's goal is important, but you have to have like...
That camera's not going to film you doing it there.
Oh, that's fine. You go. You need to have like,
rear delt fly?
Rear delt fly, yeah. You definitely need to have a plan in place, for sure.
Like this? Like this?
And then, yeah, exactly. And I think people don't take into account when they're setting up their New Year's goals for the gym, like all the factors, not just like, I want to lose weight, so I got to go to the gym. You also have to eat clean. You got to prepare. You have to sleep well. You have to supplement properly. So there's a lot of other factors. And I think it's more like inexperienced people that tend to fail a lot. Like,
it's because, well, before I hit the set, I was going to say, like, instead of saying, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, you're better off saying, like, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week to start. Or even, or 2,
something that's
or 1,
like
or whatever it is that you can
actionable.
actually do.
Yeah.
Actionable. Take action on what you say instead of, like, having that looming goal that you don't even know how to get to it.
And I think people get discouraged, right? Like if their goal is to lose 30 pounds, they go to the gym for a month, maybe January or February, where most people fall off, and they look and they're like,
wow, I lost 3 pounds.
Or I've lost nothing, I've lost 2 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's been a month and I got to lose 30.
Yeah.
And then they slowly, the motivation starts to go, the discipline starts to go. Then you go to the gym once or twice a week, and then you just stop going altogether. Or you just don't care about the goal anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's why people fall off.
Normally those numerical, like 0 to 100 goals are, you only give yourself 3 months, not even.
I need to lose 100 pounds in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes people say something ridiculous.
oh yeah.
And you're just like, dude, why don't you try and get better every single day and then translate that to a weekly thing? So start off with something you can actually do. Go to the gym 2-3 times a week. Then next week you can add
maybe
I'm
add a day of cardio
gym
or
for 3 weeks, but I'm going to add a day of cardio, or I'm going to watch what I eat, or each week you can add something that's really actionable. I'm going to eat high protein this week. It's like change yourself slowly and gradually.
Right.
Because the consistency is more important than the actual goal, right?
Yeah, it's like
Am I hitting this now?
Yeah, same
Okay.
combo. Yeah, another good one is people will be like, I want to get shredded when they don't really know what that means. Like
such a buzzword term.
It's like a blanket term. What does that mean? Do you want to lose like 10% body fat? Do you want the abs to show? And all those things have different ways to approach them. You can't just be like, oh, I want to get shredded and show up at the gym. Another thing is why, it's kind of moving into the next topic, but why does everyone kind of assume January has like these magical powers? Like you're more motivated in January. Everything feels fresh and new. And I think that's like a societal thing because we're so used to it, like we mentioned in the last episode. But social media probably distorts the hell out of that too.
Bro.
Yeah. I've seen so many like fitness influencers and stuff like that already posting like, start this challenge with me on the 1st for the 27 day, whatever. I think that's a good thing too, though, because it does kind of give people something to track. But at the same time, yeah.
Well, that's
like,
taking into the psychology aspect. They know that people are going to spend the money.
Yes. Well, like for us, it's like the Super Bowl. January, February is like, it's the fucking
Huddle
Super
up,
Bowl.
everyone.
Yeah, exactly. My bank account's looking real nice in January. But
So we getting those renewals or what?
But I think what you said is you need to reframe the goals into actionable stuff like, train 3 times a week, steps. Just fucking
Get my 10,000
get your
steps a
step. That's like an easy one that I think everybody should do, like as a New Year's resolution, just move more, right? Like just little things like that. And then I think that if you commit to these small things incrementally, you're more likely to last a long time. And you've also set yourself up mentally for knowing that you're not going to magically lose 30 pounds in a month. Like you'll start to see, okay, I've lost a pound. It's been 2 weeks. I've lost another pound. So you start to see a little bit of progress.
You kind of see that it's not going to be a straight decline. There's going to be hills and valleys,
Hills
or
and
peaks
valleys,
and
exactly.
troughs, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think that how would you explain to someone or get them to understand that being consistent and developing that discipline that's going to help you reach that end goal is more about understanding that life isn't perfect. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to walk through.
Yeah.
You're going to have like days where things feel easier, days where things feel harder, because I feel most people get discouraged when
if they have
they hit a day. Let's say they're halfway through their week. They've absolutely crushed it. They're staying consistent. They're doing their workouts on top of their diet, sleeping well, like everything's going great. And then one day happens where everything falls off. It's very easy for a lot of people to be like, oh
well, fuck it.
Things are not going well anymore.
Yeah.
There's like that shift where once you get to a certain point in your whatever, it doesn't have to be fitness. It could be anything. Towards your goal.
Yeah.
Where you kind of shift and you understand that there's going to be days where it's not all good.
Yeah.
But you still have to continue.
Because your motivation can vary day to day. Like motivation is highly emotional. Like,
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to...
Emotional damage.
The conditions are perfect. The conditions need to be perfect, right?
Which is bad. Conditions are never perfect. So you're setting yourself at a disadvantage right there.
But on that end, I think that's also why people start in January, because they think the conditions are perfect. It's like, okay, it's a new year. I have all these new goals. This is it. I'm going to do all these things that I've been saying I'm going to do every January, but I never end up sticking to. It's because I think everybody's motivation is very high at the beginning of the year. Even for me, I'm like, all right, I'm going to save this much money. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Starts off really well. And then you're like, okay, I'll do some of it. You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, I'll do a little bit of it.
And that's it.
And then you get to the end of the year and you're like, wow, I did none of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because your motivation starts to go down and you're like,
I think it has to do with the fact that, like, this also ties into the Christmas episode, how we're saying you're so sluggish, you're so tired from all the holiday shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, the new year is that, like, once the clock strikes 12, that's your kind of being propelled into getting away from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, changing and the vibe has shifted. You're done with all the family stuff. Your energy's starting to come back or something.
And you're back into, like, your routine.
I don't think that's the case. I think this is my third one.
Yeah, we're going to do 3. Yeah, and like life gets in the way. Like you're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
You might not, feel like training, whatever. I think you have to take those things into account as well. Like, if you set these standards to be so high, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like, nobody's perfect. It's really hard to be able to like.
Hannah Montana said it best.
Yeah. Also, I think people get like really guilty. You know what I mean? There's like a guilt factor to it. Like if you fuck something up, maybe your goal is to lose weight, you have a bad week, and then you start having like dread and guilt, and you're like, I've ruined everything. My New Year's is not going the way I wanted to.
Why is it so like all or nothing?
It's so weird.
Everyone is so all or nothing.
Yeah.
0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Drake.
Wow, we're shouting a lot of people
But
today.
like I said, just being able to push forward, I think, is the main thing that people need to develop in order to get to that next goal, right? Being able to strive forward when you, like you said, have that shit ass week. Like we just finished the holidays and our diets were off, our eating was off, our training was off.
Yeah.
What, are we just gonna stop training? No, because for us, that's part of our lifestyle. But like if you're fresh.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, what would your advice be to someone who's maybe not either brand new or had a long time off working out for whatever reason, and now they're like, okay, I want to get back into shape, I want to lose weight. They walk into a gym, they're highly motivated. What would your advice be to someone like that?
Like we said already, like do those small actionable things that you can actually keep track of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think keeping track of things is important, like going in with a plan.
People hate tracking their meals. We don't need to get that far. More so, put in your calendar.
Yeah.
What day are you going to work out?
Commit it.
Stick to that day. Commit to that day.
Yeah.
It's very easy. Like, let's say you say you're going to work out on the Tuesday and then you had a really long day at work. That's why it's better to work out in the mornings, in my opinion. But let's say you schedule it for 4 or 5 p.m. You're like, I'm too tired. Like, I'll just wait till tomorrow. No, fucking go in the gym. Like that guy on IG, I forget his name, Poppy Swole.
Oh, Papa Swole.
He's like, vete al puto gimnasio. Go to the
gym.
Literally, like, you're tired. I'm sorry. Life is life, especially when you're an adult. You got to make time for the gym. You have an hour. What are you gonna do? Just sit on the couch instead?
It's also like you don't want to.
Some David Goggins shit.
You don't want to neglect yourself, right? Like it's for you. I did 3. I'm good.
Okay, I'm done. Let's switch it up.
Cable pullover next. Let's go to the cables on the other side, maybe. Or we could do dumbbell pullover since we're here.
Straight up dumbbell day.
Yeah, we could do dumbbell.
50's not. We got to go heavier than 50, right?
Yeah,
Damn, yo, everyone's getting their post-holiday pump on.
Yeah, everyone's really motivated.
Want to just go and do barbell rows? Let's
go do rows. Yeah.
We can set up the camera nicely
with like bicep curls.
Yeah, there you go. We'll go on the side that you like. Not that it even matters.
This is my favorite platform.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, I think for people starting in the gym, I agree. I think like the main thing that's really important is having like tracking your workouts at some capacity. Like that way you're able to make progress. Doing your best to track your meals. Maybe you don't have to track your calories, but just be aware of what you're eating. Because then the more variables you have control of, it's easier to adjust, right?
Yeah.
And then you're less likely to fail. Like what's the saying? Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. You know what I mean? Like if you're not prepared, I know it's okay. Just take a second to take that in. Yeah, it's a big one. I think Confucius.
I just short-circuited there, bro.
I think Confucius said that one.
Yeah, that sounds like it was made in ancient China.
Yeah. I was about to do a Chinese accent, but I stopped myself.
I'll do it, bro.
Anyways.
Should I? Nah.
But anyways.
Demonetization.
Yeah, we haven't even been monetized.
0 monetization. Yet. Wait, there's a couple sayings that you could kind of tell yourself to reframe your mindset from that all or nothing mentality. You could be like, I'm never gonna miss this twice.
That's a good one.
You know? So let's say Tuesday, back to that Tuesday analogy, work is shit, and you're like, I just don't have it in me today.
Yeah.
You say this, I'm never going to miss it twice, meaning the next day you are going in no matter what.
Yeah. I think taking the all or nothing approach can also be like negative, right? Like,
leave it where it is.
Yeah, you need to.
So
you got to give yourself a little bit of grace, I guess.
Scale down. Well said. Very well said. Scale down from 100 to 80. 75.
Yeah.
That's why I always preach the 80-20 rule, more so with the diet.
Yeah.
But I would say just in general, you want to have the 80-20 rule, just so you know, like, you can live life a little bit. And 80% is a vast majority when it comes to out of 100.
Yeah, if you do that for the whole year.
In most schools, that's an A-.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that in your life, you're an A student, right?
Yeah. It's a good analogy.
So try to not, like, we're not perfect. You know, so neither is your progress towards your goal. It's not going to be perfect. But the fact that you come in and day out and you just keep pushing, I think, is the more important part.
So we have some actionable but simple rules that I'll go over while you're doing that.
Are we doing Penlay?
Yeah, I was doing bent over, but we could do Penlay. So some of the things that you can do that are actionable but simple, start small. Start embarrassingly small, like we said earlier, like, pick 3 days of the week to go, put in your calendar, track your steps. That's it. Like, that's step number 1. And then you could build non-negotiables. Like
What's a non-negotiable for Matt?
Non-negotiable for me is...
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
That's mine. I look at myself in the mirror.
I think
Don't be a bitch.
a non-negotiable for me is like getting to 10,000 steps a day. Like, that's...
We're lucky.
Even this last week I've been off with the in-laws and stuff. I didn't work out at all. But I was constantly moving. I went on multiple walks just to make sure I hit the steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a basic one. 2 to 3 workouts a week.
Also to clear the mind.
Yes. Not to get away from the in-laws. Jokes. Love my in-laws for the second time.
You mentioned that twice.
Another good one that I think is important that people overlook, that's a small actionable goal, is if you're not going to track your food, at least track your protein.
Yeah.
Because I think anyone can just open your notes app.
Easy.
When you're having a chicken breast, okay, 30 grams. Just write down, I've had 30 grams.
Easy.
Then I have a protein shake, there's another 40 grams. I'm at 70.
Yeah.
Like, find your goal protein, 1 pound per lean tissue, something like that, and then work off of that. I think that's important. So have your workouts, get your steps in, do your protein, all very simple stuff.
That's not to say that if you're tracking your protein, you can just absolutely go ape shit on everything else.
Yeah. It's more like that's the baseline. Like, obviously, ideally, you're tracking everything. But I think for a newbie, that can be overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Like being like, I have to go to the gym. I have to get my steps in. I have to track my calories. I have to get 8 hours of
failure,
sleep.
100%.
It's too much. Like, start basic. 2 to 3 workouts, track your protein, go from there. Another one that's really good is planning ahead for bad days and bad weeks. Like what you said, when having a thing to fall back on, like, I'm not going to mess up twice, is really good. Because it's like, there's going to be days or weeks where shit happens, life happens, like you said.
100%.
So
you
prepare
get
for that.
a trip, or you have to deal with some family stuff.
And then stop trying to, I guess, like, expect results fast. Yeah. Like delayed gratification. You got to go slow.
Results never happen quick.
No.
If it happens quick, it's a pyramid scheme.
And like, especially, dude, in the gym, like,
damn, bro, you just didn't even respond to that.
Scheme. Yeah, I've been part of.
I said if results happen quickly, it's a pyramid scheme.
I've been part of too many pyramid schemes.
You remember that Arbonne shit?
Yes, I do. But yeah, dude. Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
So funny.
I had something going there. Damn it.
I bet you were going to talk about shifting your identity. So instead
that's good.
Like,
I wasn't going to talk about that, but let's say I was.
I think it's important because if you align yourself with most people, their identity is like who they are, what they do.
Yeah.
So you don't say that I'm trying to get in shape.
Yeah.
You say I'm someone who works out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's actually have you ever read or you have for sure, Atomic Habits?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things he talks about, where he's like, one of the things that he's done for people who are like trying to break bad habits, like smoking, drinking, whatever. He's like, you just convince yourself I'm not a smoker. I'm not a drinker.
Yeah.
And you like reiterate that over and over. And eventually their psychology changes where that makes up and you're like, oh, but I'm not a smoker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, it's not that easy to quit smoking or alcohol, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, shifting your mentality to, I'm someone who works out, I'm someone who's active, instead of like, I'm need
trying to lose 30
or I'm
pounds.
trying to.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm already doing it right now. Yeah, I think shifting your mentality is...
Because then that's going to change, like, effectively
important.
who you are, right?
Yeah,
and then you're
mind.
more likely to stay on track, keep the habits going instead of falling off by February, right?
Yeah.
So this just goes back to the idea that consistency is a compounding effect, right? We've said it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight. So you shouldn't expect your goals to either.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, I'm going to hit this set real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Why February is the actual test. Because I think everybody makes it through January to some extent.
That's where the mind gets hardened.
It's the people who go through February into March that are the ones that are more likely to stay consistent. What's the phrase? It's like 21 days to build a habit. 3 weeks, they say?
Yeah.
So like if you can get yourself with that identifying mentality that you mentioned, and then have these small actionable goals, give yourself a little bit of grace, grind it out. If you can make it past the first 3 to 4 weeks, it becomes habitual. Like you get to a point where you're like, you feel almost bad if you missed a workout, or if you, not feel bad, but you know what I mean? Like you start to crave, doing these things, whether it's hitting your protein or
also
going to the gym.
Like, I might sound like a bit of a douche here.
Yeah.
But I think it's a legitimate, thank you.
Yeah.
Legitimate question. How fucking bad do you want it? How
Yeah,
bad
100%.
do you want it, bro?
How important is it to you?
Like, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
I feel like most of the people that fall off, they don't want it.
Well, I think it's, again, because I've been doing this for so long, my experience is people that come in January are generally the type of people who are very excited, very motivated. They go for a couple weeks, they don't see any change or results, and they come less and less until they just stop, because it's like, why am I... And for a lot of people, for us, we love training. Like, I love training. We love the pain, the everything about it. 90% of people fucking hate it.
It's not pain.
Yeah.
It's a nice
There's
feeling.
no reason to live if you cannot deadlift.
Exactly.
But I think most people, the average person, doesn't enjoy going to the gym.
Yeah, I've had a couple of clients who are like, this fucking sucks.
It's a chore. It's like, I'm only doing this because my doctor told me, or my blood pressure's high.
See, that's the wrong thing. Back to the identity shit.
Yeah.
I'm doing this because I have to.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you doing it?
Yeah. You don't want to.
No.
You're
supposed to do this because you like it. You're supposed to do it because you want to live a healthy life.
The goal is to be preventative, not reactive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Not be like, okay, I'm like pre-diabetic. My doctor says I have to go. I've had people like that at the studio, even in-person clients, like, what are your goals? Oh, I don't have any. My doctor said I have to be here.
Yeah.
I'm like,
okay,
well,
so
this
you're
is
just
gonna,
gonna
this
like,
isn't
go
gonna,
through the motions
it's
then?
not gonna work, because you don't want to be here. Like,
yeah.
If you don't want to be there, you're not gonna, and that's just not in the gym. That's any goal that you set yourself up for. If you don't really want it, eventually the nature of your motivation is just going to be non-existent. Because you're just like, I don't know. I'm only here because my doctor told me. I don't know.
I like that reactive comment you made.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of makes me
Be
think
proactive
of the
versus
monkey
reactive.
mind.
Yeah.
The monkey mind.
Oh, I got one of those.
Yeah, we both got monkey minds, boy. But no, it's just like, you shouldn't be reacting to things that come your way. You should think more so
Preventative.
in a way that you can be, what's the other word? Proactive, I guess?
Yeah, proactive. Yeah. Or preventative.
Or take action instead of reacting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Especially
difference is that you're in control versus not being in control.
And I think you're less motivated if you're...
is more like automatic, automated, like innate.
Yeah.
Versus taking action, you have to think, you have to take a step back, you have to understand what you're about to do. Wild.
And then you're more invested in it if it's personal to you versus I got biceps.
Should we bump it up to 30?
100%, yeah.
I just couldn't find the 30 there, so I gotta
go
go
ahead.
and get it.
I'll keep talking. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Is a quote that I just found.
That's hilarious. Pulling out all these buzzwords.
But yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh, perfectionism. That's a good one. Bring
Crazy.
those 30s over here.
Are you just over there mumbling while I'm getting the weight?
I'm reading the topics to myself.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, this will be a good one when he's back.
Meanwhile, you know what I'm doing? I'm just dead ass making fun of you while I'm getting dumbbells.
Here's a good one. A good way to look at it is for people, having these goals is trying to be perfect about it, like perfectionism.
All those A1 people, bro.
And I think it's disguised as discipline. You know what I mean? It's like, but discipline includes the moments when you can't be perfect. That's when discipline's the most important.
That's
right?
when it's the only time.
That's the only time.
Important.
But I think people who be like, yeah, I am disciplined, I can do it, will only do it if all the conditions are perfect. Like, I slept well, I ate well, I'm gonna go to the gym today. Oh, I drank last night. Back to like when we were talking about the partying and stuff. Obviously, there's some exceptions. You got to give yourself that leeway. But I think people want everything to be perfect. Like when they start a new goal or build a new business.
Why is that a part of human nature? Like, have we not learned by now that nothing is perfect?
Literally nothing. Yeah.
Are we just so dumb that we always think that things are going to be perfect?
Yeah, you got to be resilient, dude. You just got to break through.
People should watch more anime.
Honestly,
the main overarching theme of anime is persistence, not giving
overcoming.
It's literally
obstacles.
not stopping.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Even when you're beaten and broken down. God, anime is so good, dude.
These Japanese, bro.
Oh, they know. That's why they're the hardest working people on the damn planet. But yeah, you gotta and I think a lot of people would rather quit in those scenarios than make adjustments.
It's probably because they prefer to stay comfortable. This goes. You could connect this with a bunch of things, not being if you're scared of something.
Yeah, people don't like to step outside their comfort zone. Yeah.
If you don't get out of your comfort zone, you're never going to make progress.
Right.
So there's this YouTube channel I love, Yes Theory. Seek discomfort.
Seek discomfort. But that's not to say we're talking about all this stuff. It's not to say we haven't gone through it. There's been many times where I've set a goal for myself, started really well, and then kind of fell off.
Yeah, but that goal was running.
That goal was running, or the cut that I've been restarting 16 times in the last 4 years.
Which one?
Cutting. Yeah, I've been bulking for 4 years, apparently. But yeah, it's just little things like that. So it happens to the best of us, even people like us who identify as people who train and work out and are disciplined, just human beings. Shit happens.
This goes back to no one's perfect, right?
Yeah.
I've had a bunch of goals that I didn't get to, and then I woke up from my dreams.
Yeah, because I hit all my goals. That's crazy. Yeah, we're talking about February. February is the big one. Listen, if you can make it to February on track with what your goals are, whether they were personal or fitness, you're setting yourself up for a good year.
Success.
Exactly.
Okay, let's do a little pivot here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the number 3 in my head.
Ooh.
What are 3 things that you would do to set yourself up for success towards any goal? It doesn't have to be.
Okay, so let's take it out of the gym, just something that can be applied to anything.
Yeah.
The first thing I would do is from the large goal, I'd break it down into a smaller timeline. You know what I mean?
So let's say your goal is a year goal.
Yeah.
You'll break it down by months or something?
By months, yeah. And it's and then within those months, what steps are you doing to achieve that? So let's say your goal is, again, back to the gym, weight loss, 50 pounds in a year. Okay, that's an average of maybe 4 to 5 pounds a month. That's an average of 1 pound a week, which means I need to lose, I need to be in this much of a deficit. So you start to because then you see the bigger picture. When you just have the goal so far away and you don't know how to get there.
There's no tangible aspect.
I think that's the first thing. Out of the 3 things.
You're Rain Man over there, bro.
Yeah, you gotta
50 pounds by the year.
Yeah.
I saw the numbers going down in your head.
That's 1.2% body fat per 48 hours. You know what I mean? Anyway. But yeah, that's the first thing, is take your goal and break it down into smaller steps so it's more digestible for you to visualize and to understand. The second thing would be to track whatever the goal is, whether it's gym or maybe it's finance. Maybe I want to save 20 grand this year. All right, that means I need to save $50 of my daily income. If you break your income down, then you can start tracking that. Maybe open a separate account.
Yeah.
So tracking is the second thing for me, being on top of all the variables.
I agree with the tracking. You need to be able to see what you do each day, each week, each month.
And then the third thing for me would be make progress and don't worry about perfection. Just if, last month you were, I don't know, benching 100 pounds and now you're benching 120, it's like, all right, perfect. I'm heading in the right direction. My goal is 200. I'm not there yet, but everything is kind of moving in the right direction. So those are my 3 things. Break down your goal, focus on progress and the journey to the goal, not the goal itself, instead of perfection.
It's all about the journey, bro.
It's all about the journey. And the third thing was track as many metrics as you can in any given goal that you have, just to ensure that you are headed in the right direction. Because then if maybe you're not losing weight or something's happening, you can look back and be like, okay, I didn't hit protein properly 4 out of the 7 days this week. I was 700 calories over 4 days. You know what I mean? So you can start to break it down and be like, okay, it was my diet, not the training. Or maybe the diet was perfect, but then you look at your training, you're like, oh man, I only worked out twice this week.
Yeah.
Then you can kind of scale back and you check your variables to keep you on track. What about you?
Hit that set, boy.
Yep.
Well, for me, I think I'm going to also include the tracking aspect.
Yeah. We love tracking.
I do think that there needs to be some form of self-care or, like meditation or some time for your brain to not shut off, but for you to just kind of take a step back, decompress. Because like we said, there's a lot of shit that goes on in life, and it's very easy to have a lot of tabs open in the brain, like Google tabs.
Yeah.
Learned that from one of my clients.
That's a fun way to look at it.
But so the idea would be to help kind of reduce that clutter, make sure that you're as clear-headed as you could be.
Right.
And I don't know if this might play into the whole New Year's resolution thing, but it could be a separate thing in itself. Small things like going in the sauna or taking some time to 10 minutes, 15 minutes to just meditate or be in a quiet space or do something for yourself to
clear your mind.
Yeah, realign and recenter, I think would be really helpful.
Yeah.
To help you stay on track and keep pushing you towards the goal that you want to achieve.
Yeah, definitely.
So that would be the second one. And the third one, I can't really think of a concrete third one right now. Bro, sleep is above sleep is above the 3. You need to make sure that
you're really good with that. I am not.
Yeah.
Dude, my sleep schedule.
Sometimes I get in trouble for wanting to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I optimally function past 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah, daddy needs his beauty sleep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just need to sleep. It is what it is. But I think the third thing would be people need to learn how to stop being so hard on themselves.
Yeah.
We all do it. We're all our own harshest critic.
Yeah.
By far. Being able to
100%.
understand that you're not ever going to get to a point where you're perfect every single day, I think is going to be a huge shift in your mindset.
Yeah.
And it might sound kind of silly right now listening to it, but I think overall, compounding effect, if you keep having that thing in mind, you'll know whatever. Today was a shit workout. Today I spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
Today I didn't eat so good. It doesn't matter what the goal is, but you know that tomorrow's a new day. You're blessed enough that you're probably going to see tomorrow. So hit it again.
Yeah.
And try and improve, right?
Yeah, like you said, small
That's the
things.
whole thing. You have to just always remember that today
After this, we got
not
abs,
finite.
by the way.
You have tomorrow, and you just got to keep getting on the wheel.
Keep on trucking, big guy.
Wheel,
yeah. The hamster wheel of life, the rat race. But yeah, I think you're right. The kind of the message that I think we want to relay to people is you don't need, a fresh January 2nd start day. You don't need a reset or a detox or a perfect plan. You just need a realistic, attainable goal that you've taken time to plan out a little bit.
Damn, I really wanted to exhale loudly there, but I didn't.
I was trying not to. I think that's kind of the takeaway. It's if it's really, January is great, but I think it's really the goal is you got to make it till March, 3 months, and then
What's that saying? There's a saying.
What's the saying?
I think it's in the notes at the bottom of the notes.
Oh yeah, the goal isn't to start strong, it's to still be here in March.
Yes, 100%.
But it's true. Aside from the gym, I think anything you do, if you got to give yourself a bit of a timeline to really solidify this new habit or this new thing that you're doing, right? You can't just be all right, I'm going to start working out, and then go to the gym and be like, okay, fingers crossed, I hope something happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to have a plan.
There's more method to the madness, bro.
100%. And like, I'm sure you've told your clients this, and I'm thinking, at least, we got abs next.
Okay.
I think all our clients know this. It's like, the expectation when they start is like, oh, I want to lose this much weight, whatever. But then they realize how long it actually takes. Right?
We still have clients that are like,
yeah,
I have 14 days.
Yeah. Hi. What's going on? I am.
Love.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Hello. How are you? Good. Merry Christmas.
What are your New Year's resolution goals? That's what we're talking about today. Andrea, what are your New Year's goals?
To run.
Do high rocks.
To do something.
You gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan. When you listen to this episode, you'll know.
You have the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah. All right, buddy, let's do some abs. No, that's gonna be the highlight of the episode, featuring Andrea. Yeah, it's gonna be your face like, when was I here? Anyways, let's hit some abs and wrap this one up with a couple of
You're right there.
words of wisdom, shall we? Yeah, it's some leg raises. We'll alternate.
I'm not
here.
really wise at all, though.
I think between both our 4 brain cells, we should be able to come up with
Pretend
something.
to be wise.
All right,
That's
I'm gonna start ripping.
Just leg raises, yeah?
Yep.
Are you doing 12?
Yeah, I think
I think I'll do 20.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
It wasn't part of my short actionable plan.
Oh,
My
true.
actionable plan was 12 reps.
Oh, our final message.
Yeah,
It's crazy. This is a good one.
this is a good one. Yeah.
So
It's
like most
important. I
people
think a lot
take
of people
this
have.
as like a reset.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm gonna totally
Yeah.
change.
I'm new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not the person I was for the last
30 years.
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm someone totally new. I'm coming as like a fucking
Yeah.
like cocoon into a butterfly.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. You're just getting better. You're making a little shift.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in those two statements is crazy. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
It's way less jarring, way less anxiety provoking.
Inducing, intimidating. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Nice. Yeah, I think, like we said earlier, get in, have those little goals. I've repeated this like 10 times, I feel. But it's true, man. And hey, repetition. I'm repeating it, but repetition does lead to success. Small, was it that thing? Like small daily habits lead to like major changes over the long term. It's like that, we talked about it earlier today, but also in one of our other podcasts. It's like that delayed, especially when you have these long-term goals, you have to accept delayed gratification. Like you're not gonna get what you want just because you picked up a dumbbell for 10 minutes. And
Oh,
you're
I
like,
bought these 10-pound dumbbells. I'm going to work out in my basement for 5 days.
what do you mean I haven't lost 40
I
pounds
thought
yet?
I'd be shredded by now.
Yeah, exactly, right? So having those realistic expectations, super important. Give yourself a little bit of leeway, lean into it. I think another big thing that we didn't really touch on today, relative to setting up a goal in the gym or anywhere else, is have a good support system. You know what I mean?
Who's that for you?
It's me. No.
It's the mirror.
It's my mirror. No, but you know what I mean? Like have people that are in line with your goals around you, like people that
Yeah,
will
people
push you to be
surround
better,
yourself
right?
with
Like,
are going to kind of
you know, if your
ultimately.
goal is to lose weight and maybe your goal is to cut back on alcohol, don't hang out with the people as regularly that cause you to do the thing that you're trying to stop doing or improve on, right? But yeah, and having a support system, like having a partner who knows that your goal is to lose weight and they're not going to be upset that you're making a chicken salad while they're eating whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like little
Yeah.
things like that. Because like, there's another good saying, I think it's like 5 heads are better than one. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
There's more, the more people you, at least in my experience.
Are you Confucius reincarnated?
I think I am. Confucius. Delete that.
Special part at the end of the video.
but,
That's Confucius
Anything,
accent.
literally anything I've ever done that I consider to be a success has not been by myself. It's always been with someone.
You need help.
People. Yeah, you need people around you that are going to help you get to where you want to be. Find a partner to go to the gym with. Find someone to like track macros with. Maybe do a challenge with a friend where like, let's both lose 10 pounds. Who's going to get there first? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like little things like that.
That's actually really smart because you're never gonna you're not gonna do much
Yeah.
in this life
The more-
without a bit of help.
You know what I used to do when I would have a goal like doing a powerlifting show or a bodybuilding show or whatever? I would tell people like, 8 months in advance. I tell as many people as I could, oh, I'm doing a powerlifting meet in 6 months. I'm doing a physique show in 6 months. Because now there's 30 other people that in my mind I've told, and I feel like if I don't pursue the goal, I'm not only letting myself down, but now there's all these other people that I've been excited about this journey on.
So that's why you're telling them. You're not telling them because you're like, hey, I'm doing a show.
Maybe a little bit, but it is a good majority of it is the more like I feel like you're less likely to fail if more people know that these are the goals that you have, right?
True.
So I think we didn't really talk about it much, but we'll do one more. I think having a support system is absolutely massive, right? Like imagine you're trying to do it, and then maybe you're someone who doesn't have a support system. Maybe you're new in town or whatever. Make friends at the gym, like get a trainer.
At least make acquaintances.
Yeah, like having a community when you're trying to do anything, whether it's like a business is great. Like I'm sure there's tons of people who do things on their own, but almost every successful business is built through a team of people. It's never
a collective.
It's a collective, yeah. More minds, more ideas, more perspectives, like all that shit matters so much, I think so.
And that's how Apple was built.
Yeah. In some dude's garage, and now look at him now. Well, he's dead, but like the other guy, not Steve Jobs. All right, let's go. Last set. So I think that would be my personal final takeaway, aside from all the stuff we said, is like have those actionable goals, try to identify as someone who is already at the goal, track your stuff, give yourself some leeway, and have a support system that will help you, very graceful, that will help you get through, especially those first couple weeks or months.
The most arduous parts.
Ooh, good word.
That are gonna make or break your goal.
So and another big, really super important thing is to subscribe and listen to this podcast.
Yeah, that's going to help you pass your February goals for sure.
Yeah, we'll be your support
We also
system.
have a sponsor of I'm just kidding, not yet.
We're looking for you.
Hello, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Anyways,
that was fun. That was
a good workout today.
Nice little back and bias.
Feels good to be back.
See you guys in the next one.
Have a good one, guys.
Peace.